Welcome to This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your local experts on all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Listen in as they discuss the current state of the market, the latest trends, and have a little fun while doing it. We do want to say the opinions voiced on this podcast are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individuals.
It's okay.
All right, everybody, we are back with another week of This Week in Real Estate. Woo! The crowd is losing their minds.
High energy today. High energy. Let's go.
All right. Well, we're back. How we feeling, everybody?
Oh, wait, you didn't?
Where we put the miss and commission. I don't even know.
I feel like
set these up.
I feel like we have a miss going on today for sure. Man, I'll tell you what. So I'm a little under the weather, but we're gonna do this. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a good show.
If you see me leaning on the microphone like this, just carry on. It's okay. It's all good.
I know we don't have cough buttons. Do we have snoring buttons?
It just kills over.
Yeah, that's funny. I believe at that point it might be time to pull the plug on.
Not that this content's boring or anything like that.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
No.
Oh, me. So I am covered in flour right now. So prior to us starting the show today, I helped Robert next door. He's a little bit injured. And so I got to do my first big batch mash in, which means that I milled all the grain and then slowly, methodically applied the grain to all of the hot water. And so I've got like this fine sheen of powder. I've leaked all over the tablecloth.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. So anyway, this is what it's like. It just further reiterates to me that I like drinking it more than I like making it.
Does this officially make you a brewer now?
No. Heavens no. Absolutely not. At best, I'm a brewer's assistant. At best.
Can't quite add that to the resume.
No, that's good. No, definitely not.
What were y'all brewing this morning?
So we've got Lytle Creek going.
Okay.
In there now. So that one takes a long time in the vessel. So we go ahead and try to always have that in the vessel.
So that it's ready.
It's our number one beer, and it takes the longest to brew. So,
Well, this podcast is about real estate.
It is about real estate.
Let's dive into some headlines.
So real estate sometimes makes you want to drink more beer. I will tell you that.
It's back to you.
So I'm going to start this out. I've got a headline. It's on the personal level, or I guess business level, but my business. I've got a subdivision coming up for sale. Nice. And when I say that, I mean like literally the subdivision is for sale. It's got, as it's currently approved, it's got 9 lots in it.
Okay.
But there's an existing home that you could carve off that's already planned to be carved off and sell it separately. Or you could actually bulldoze that and get 2 more lots. So you could have as many as 11 lots on it.
Nice.
And it is right in the middle of Murfreesboro.
Is that right?
It's right off of Jones. The one road that would go into the subdivision would come off of Jones.
Okay.
It's all approved. You just got to go get your permits and start digging, shovel ready.
So let's talk about this because we talk about this show's This Week in Real Estate, and this is a real estate topic that I think probably has a lot of interest. Who's your target client? Who do you try to sell something like this to?
With it being a smaller subdivision like this, your really big ones are probably not interested in something like this. But Mayor McFarland, I'm talking to you. You do the little 5 to 10 house subdivisions and build really nice homes. Your upstart guy that wants to do his first or her first subdivision, that's never done one because it's just one little cul-de-sac.
Yeah. So
the infrastructure, if you're developing, the infrastructure would not be super complicated on this. It's not multiple roads with lift systems and all this other stuff. So that would be an ideal candidate for it. And maybe some of the bigger guys too that want a presence. When I say it's in the middle of town, it is right in the middle of town off of Northfield and Jones.
Wow.
It's zoned Northfield Elementary, Siegel. Great zoning. and it'd be a fantastic little enclave. It's already named. It's called Church View because it is. We bought part of the property from a church that's directly across the street from it.
What church is that?
Trinity Methodist.
Okay. Yeah, I cut through this area all the time, coming from basically here in my office, which my office is close to the studio here. But yeah, I cut through that road all the time.
Well, if you know where that Methodist church is, and then there's a substation, power substation across the street. If you're coming from Northfield, and before you get to the substation, there's an empty lot. That's it.
Yeah. So how many acres total is it?
If you don't include the house, it's like 3.8.
Okay.
If you do include the house, it's like 4.4 or something like that.
Nice. That's a great opportunity. So you're looking for an opportunity like this is going to be somebody that's really probably got cash. So is this something that somebody would finance a purchase like this, or would they want to? Would that hurt their margins?
Hey, in this particular market, cash is king.
Yeah.
And it gives you a lot more options. So with rates being still where they are on something like this, going to have a very short fuse on that. So I mean, if you have cash, would be an ideal situation.
Right.
But some folks, even if they have the cash, would choose to not tie up their cash.
They don't want to be leveraged. They'd rather be a little bit leveraged than have liquidity. Do you think that this is going to be somebody who is going to build some specs and just try to sell those, or do you think it's custom? What kind of?
I'd probably go with a medium range spec.
Okay.
In this particular part of town, I don't think we're building $1 million homes on these.
Right.
But I don't think we're building. I don't know anybody that's building $350,000 starter homes right now.
Right.
So they're probably $600,000.
Okay.
2,300 square foot, 20.
So builders can throw up a spec in this market, and where prices are now, a $600,000 spec is not unheard of.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And you would probably try to pre-sell it if you can.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of builders that don't want to pre-sell.
Yeah.
They want to get it all the way to the point where they're about to paint it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with somebody making exactly.
They just want to build a house, and I see more and more of that. I hear more and more of that they'd rather wait till that point where it's really kind of past the elevations.
You can pick this color or this color. The end.
Pick your colors. Yeah. Maybe let them pick some fixtures, some light fixtures, but maybe not even that.
Even that, it's usually this package or this package.
Yeah.
It's not mix and match.
So for anybody that's watching that's maybe newer to real estate, talk about the difference between a spec and a custom.
So, I mean, it's a spec house is built on the speculation that they're going to sell it.
Okay.
So they build a house, they being the builder, builds a house, it's done, it's ready to go. You'll hear a lot of the big guys call them market homes.
Okay.
Right, where they've already built it, it's sitting there. You can buy it, quite literally today.
Yeah.
Where a custom home is the very opposite of that. So a true custom home, I've got a piece of land, or maybe you've got a piece of land and you're the builder, and I help design the floor plan. Like, we go beginning to end, and I'm involved in the whole process as the buyer. Choose everything, all of that. There's generally a significant price difference in that,
right?
Just because of the amount of touches and the amount of management that has to be involved from the builder. Now, what we see a lot of right now is what you might call a semi-custom home, or again, if we pre-sell a home, that means that it's sold before ground is broken.
Yeah.
And in those situations, a lot of the builders, they'll offer some options, but not a custom build. So you'll have 5 floor plans, 3 of them will work on this lot. You can do the brown package or the black package. You can do the this color or this color. You can choose A, B, or C in flooring. You know what I mean? It's very limited, but there's still choices that you can make.
That's how the house that we lived in before the one we live in now, we did it that way. We got into Scottish Glen neighborhood before any dirt was turned, and we picked out the lot that we wanted, the elevation we wanted. They poured the wrong elevation, so they had to come back in and fix that, and they made it work. But there was always this weird little foundation piece that kind of like hung out, and it was odd. But they did everything. They did everything right, and they made everything right there. But yeah, we picked out the floor plan, the elevation. We picked out a lot of the lighting and the flooring. We had some options to choose from. I could go pick out the brick, and it was a good way to do it. But I can see going through that process and that experience why a builder would prefer to just go ahead and get the house pretty much done before they let a customer start having a lot of choices.
Well, the other thing that it does is when the builder picks things, and if they just do a spec neighborhood, for example, you have, let's say, again, back to this one, you have 9 houses in there. What you don't want is house 1, 2, and 3 to look identical.
Right.
So they're able to go in and say, okay,
this one's
this might be the same floor plan as this one,
Right.
but the elevation is totally different. The exterior finishes are different.
Yeah.
All of that. So they get control over the overall
aesthetic of the neighborhood.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's great stuff. Well, congratulations on the great opportunity.
Thanks. If you're interested, man, give me a call. When I tell you it's a great location,
That is fantastic.
It is a great location.
And that's a headline there that's relevant because it gives us an opportunity to discuss something in real estate that's awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit of information.
All right, Trent, what you got for us, dog?
Yeah, this is real.
This is real.
It is.
AI, generate and say, and we have to vote on if it's real.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Oh, he made it big.
Look at that.
Oh, you can make it small again.
This one officially doesn't make the cut.
There's a lot going on in this.
The secret garden.
Yeah, if I didn't know it was real, I would say this is not real.
Is that
Notice
a
the oxygen tanks by the front door.
Oh no!
I hope that people can see there's oxygen tanks sitting by the front door.
I did see that.
Now, a lot of times you think of like plants and how kind of clean the air. I guess it didn't work.
Oh no, that's a nebulizer system. That's somebody on oxygen.
Yeah.
And then there's a rabbit.
Well, maybe those aren't real plants. Maybe those are all artificial.
I'd say they're all artificial.
And they collect a lot of dust. And so if you live in a condition like that, I could see where maybe your allergies could get bad and you might need to just have some breathing support. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on this show.
and you didn't stay at Holiday Inn Express, did
No,
you?
I did not.
Man, that's
That's crazy.
Look at the ceiling too has got something going on with it.
It's got cloth on it.
Some fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really needed to soften up the edges. All right.
okay. This is real.
Lovely.
Okay, move in there.
That, for instance, is an entryway.
You know, it's got a nice floor. Look at the floor under the rug. It's got a nice floor.
Hey, let's
some
find a
redemption
positive. I love it. That's what we do here.
Spread the positive.
Spread
find
the positive. Find the positive.
All right. So as that person's real estate agent, I would walk in and I'm not always tactful. I don't know if you guys are aware of this.
You're really not going to be tactful on a day like this.
No, I'm going to walk in and go, yeah, this ain't going to work. Do you intend to sell it? Yes. Then take it all down. All of it.
Get it all out of it.
What about the bunny? Yes, the bunny.
Bunny goes to the bunny does not.
But that's
make
my
it.
good luck. That's the bunny. Rabbit's foot.
Yeah.
It's good luck.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, if you get rid of everything else in here, you can leave the bunny. What my advice is to people, though, for real, is go through your house, get rid of half of your stuff.
That's a good.
And then when you're done, go back through and get rid of half again.
Yeah.
that's actually
And
a pro
clean it
tip.
up.
And it has nothing to do with whether or not your house is full or not. Just in general, everybody can do that.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's a
if
pro
we,
tip.
we could do that in our house, and we've got so much clutter. And I swear, sometimes I think the more square footage you buy, the more stuff you'll accumulate.
Yeah, there's a principle to that, right? Like you expand to fit your space or whatever.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
Is that the science one is like Bernoulli. Is that Bernoulli's principle?
Wow.
Wow.
That gases expand to fit their space.
Okay.
But humans do the same thing with their.
Goldfish do it.
We're gonna say yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds
and,
right.
And we've given a value add in headlines, and
Well, I may have made it up.
we've given a value add in yes, it's real, which is uncommon for this show. Usually that's
Yeah.
just a lighthearted
A little
break.
comedy bit.
Yeah.
Let's go to market.
You don't think it's Bernoulli?
Bernoulli's states that an increase in the speed of fluid occurs simultaneously with the decrease in pressure.
Oh,
It's not quite it, but
Okay.
kind of.
Sort of, yeah.
well, I will say this: it's George Carlin's principle. If you've ever heard that bit where he talks about how you have yard sales to get rid of your, and then what do you do with the money that you make from your yard sale?
You go buy more.
You go buy more. Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. All right, market movers, fellas. Back to you.
So market movers, we got a few things going on, and I think that really all eyes right now. And I got a text this morning from a great client, a past client. Should I refinance? And man, all the that's the market moving piece right now.
Are we in the low sixes right now?
We're in the mid to low sixes right now. Okay. So she gets her current lender because she did new construction, and so she used the builder's lender when she bought her most recent home. And she's like, "Hey, they're telling me this. Should I do it?" And they just floated a rate out to her, and they told her a rate. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, "There's no way that's a par rate. There's some discount points involved there. So they're not giving you the full picture. They're showing you how you can save $200 a month right now. They're not telling you what it's going to cost to do that."
And they just tack that onto the end of the loan, so it eats up some of your equity.
It does, and they're telling her that she's going to break even on the costs, and I can't remember what 13 months or something like that, and that's good, and it probably is. I mean, I'm probably good, but I told her they're not giving you the full picture, and here's the thing: the market has, and she said my mom said that rates are supposed to come down on the 18th. Is that true? And we don't know, because if the market's already pricing in a 0.5 point cut. And this is I said all that to kind of get to this point. If the mortgage, the people who are buying mortgage-backed securities are pricing in a 0.5 point cut, because about 3 weeks ago it looked like that's what we might get, but then the Fed comes in and they only cut rates a quarter, we might see mortgage rates go up a little bit. And it'll be counterintuitive, and there'll be a whole lot of heads that'll spin, and it'll be tough for some people to understand. But the news, the headlines right now that are coming out, the rest of this week are going to weigh heavy on what the Fed does. So tomorrow I don't want to get my stuff mixed up, but tomorrow we are getting jobless claims, which is a huge report. And jobless claims has been one of the biggest market movers that we've seen in the last since rates started going up. And I think that when you're within 2 weeks of the Fed meeting, that jobless claims report tomorrow is going to be a big market mover. Mm-hmm. It's going to indicate if we're expecting a 0.5 point or a 1/4 point cut. So pay very close attention to that. If we get a jobless claims, the expectations tomorrow are for 230 jobless claims. If that number comes in over 230, then I would expect mortgage rates will come down a good bit tomorrow. If it comes in under that, then I would expect mortgage rates might start hedging back towards a 1/4 point cut, and you see mortgage rates start to go up. And then on Friday, another big one, unemployment and non-farm payrolls come out on Friday. So big stuff this week.
I think what all of this and ever since all of this volatility really started in the last couple years, it's really, really underscored for me. And I didn't really understand this before, but I'm getting it now. Mortgage interest rates are not based on the federal funds rate. That when we talk about the Fed raising and lowering rates,
right?
It does not directly impact the mortgage interest rate.
That's right.
Now, they move, right? And there's some simultaneous things that happen. But it's very possible that mortgage rates can actually be a leading indicator of what the Fed's going to do. And sometimes it's a leading indicator, and then it also lags at the same, in the same in the same span of time.
It's wild, isn't it? But the best way to I could explain it is that the Fed target funds kind of tells banks where they should set their interest rates. So if you're looking at short-term
not mortgage
stuff,
rates, that's different,
right? If you're looking at short-term stuff like car loans, credit cards that are on, or home equity lines of credit that are on revolving debt, a Fed rate cut is going to almost directly impact that kind of interest rate. Mm-hmm. Now, the people who are what's driving mortgage rates is investors who are buying those mortgage-backed securities. Go watch The Big Short. It does a great job of explaining all this stuff. But catch my breath here. You're competing for those investors' dollars with things like the 10-year Treasury, mm-hmm. and so and other equities and other investments. And so when there's concern in the economy, that means mortgage rates are going to probably be able to come down a little bit because there's a flight to safety. There's more people who want to invest in safe bonds, safe investments like mortgage bonds, Treasury bonds, things like that, because they're concerned about equities. So if there's dark clouds in the economy horizon, because of the fears of recession, unemployment's going up, jobless claims are going up, companies are cutting their forecasts. They're like, we don't want to invest in equities right now. When I say equities, I mean like stocks. We don't want to invest in those kinds of things. We want to pull our money into something a little bit safer right now to kind of ride this out. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be more willing to buy mortgage-backed securities.
And if there's more buyers, then the the return can go down. And the return is tied to what we pay in interest rate.
That's exactly right.
So, but if we have a robust, bustling equities market, then
to attract the investors' dollars, you have to offer a higher yield.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff, man.
All right.
Shiny penny.
All right.
We're going to try something new with Shiny Penny today.
Okay.
So last week we teased a wonderful song called "Clear to Close on My Heart," and I believe that Trent has video.
I do.
Oh Lord!
And he's going to play some. This song was written and originally recorded by me in 2020, or maybe in 2019. I might have my years mixed up a little bit, but it had kind of gone into the coffers. It had just kind of like gone away. Nobody had really thought about it.
Maybe should have.
Maybe should have. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Unfortunately, it's pretty catchy.
And so it made a resurgence at Believers in Business a couple of weeks ago. It was my turn to present, and at the end of your turn of presenting, you're supposed to give a door prize. Well, I always just offer something from the Cedar Glade swag, and I go and buy it or a gift card or something like that. But this guy, he won it, and he said he didn't need any of that. He wanted a song from me. So the next week, I happened to have my guitar with me, and I got up and I played the song. And so the recording that you're about to see is the recording that I think
you should have burned him a disc of the recording and
burned a CD.
It'd probably be better quality. So, Trent, let's kick it over to you and see if this
Bryan Nale mixtape.
We've never tried live video on this show,
All right.
so
it's actually it won't play on the TV, but it's going to play on
I
the
knew when I met you,
Can we hear
and I
it?
saw your credit score, that we'd work together when you found a home. Now here we are, just a few weeks later, and I am calling you to say, you're clear to close on my heart.
Jonathan's never heard this song.
you played it.
Yeah. And I put it on Facebook too, so some people have
Clear
seen
to
it.
close on my heart.
That's a banger.
It's a banger. It is a banger.
Oh me. So will Jay Whitty and/or Stones River Revival be playing this song?
Maybe. It would be a pretty fun little thing to do at our Christmas show. I think we could probably work it in the set list.
Yikes!
That would actually be awesome.
Yikes.
All right.
Rob
That is a
Jansen,
shiny penny, for
Peanut,
sure.
if you're watching, we got to put that in the
I can
set
hear
list
him
for our Christmas
clicking it.
show. So he's by the time we got phone, or by the time we got this episode, I should know how his equipment did because he's testing it this morning. The Stones River Revival, a friend of ours, was playing at the MTSU game, and there was this huge monsoon that just came through right before kickoff, and some of their equipment was still out, and got exposed to the elements. So he's doing a run this morning and a test to see if it's if the
Fingers
gear
crossed
works.
for sure, man.
Fingers crossed, buddy.
Hope it's all dried out and it works
Yep.
good.
Man, that's-
If not, we'll start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Let's get her done.
Yep.
We need you, bud. All right. Last thing, pro tip.
pro tip.
I do.
You got a pro tip.
Oh no, it was me.
You had one.
I had one too. What was it? Oh,
Lots
yeah,
of
ask
questions.
questions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right,
wants to go
live
first?
update. Rob Jansen sent me a text and said that his DI box is fried. It won't come out of tuning mode now. Everything else seems to have survived. A DI box is
$100.
150, $200 if you're going to get a good one.
I've got an
So,
extra
yeah.
one if he needs one.
All right, we'll let him know.
Yeah, tell him.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Way to go, Rob. Glad your stuff's good. Pro tip. So I think we both have one, but I might be wrong, and it might just be me. So the question, pro tip for me is it really just at the start of the process for anybody that's watching this that's thinking about getting in into home buying, and it's maybe it's your first time. I want to stress this: that pre-qualification is not just a letter. It should be a process. And so when I say that, what I mean is that your lender should take your application, have a conversation with you about kind of what the tenets of mortgage are and what lenders are looking for when we're making an underwriting decision, and then go through some of your options with you. So if you're working with somebody who's sent you a pre-qualification letter, but they haven't had a consultation with you about, hey, here are 2 or 3 options, and here's why I think this one's good for you, but I want you to see what the other one looks like, just so you can have something to compare it to and really understand why we're choosing an FHA loan over a conventional, or vice versa. I think that you're missing part of the process, and you're going to go into your home buying experience a little bit less informed. So if you're thinking about buying a home, especially if it's your first home, but even if it's your dream home, you should still, because I've got some clients that I talked with last night, and this is going to be their 3rd home, and one of their credit scores had gone down, and so the big question is FHA with both of them on there, or conventional with just him on there, and really diving into some of the details on what that means long term for them, with her not being on the mortgage, versus the short-term impact of having the extra PMI, and then hopefully her score comes up and being able to refinance down the road. And they're going to make their decision on which loan program is better for them, but they're truly fully informed on what the best way to go is.
Well, I'm going to throw out there that everything you just said, like you set off probably 5 or 6 different little red flags that not – if you are getting into it and your mortgage lender hasn't spent the time to do that, to consult on that, and to go through all those different options and to really look at what makes the most sense for your particular circumstance, and then turned around and informed your real estate agent about it, because everything you just said also impacts our home shopping.
Right.
So if I'm taking somebody out and they think they're gonna do a conventional loan, and we go and we look at a house that needs a little bit of work, and all of a sudden they're going to flip to FHA, it may not work.
Right.
Or if their best option is rural development, and we're looking in the middle of Murfreesboro, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And if both of them are going to be on the mortgage, and then come to find out it's actually just going to be one of them on the mortgage, then there's paperwork that's involved, and sometimes that spooks a seller.
Yeah.
So I mean, the more that I know going into showing you houses, like about your situation, and I don't need all the details, right? It's just going to be her on the mortgage, and we're doing a conventional.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. I don't need to know that his credit score is low. All right, that doesn't matter to me.
You just need to know what the situation is.
I need to know what I'm dealing with,
Yeah.
right, on the purchase. Or, hey, I think we're going to do conventional, but we're really sort of leaning more towards rural development for whatever reason. Or I think we're going to do VA. Well, VA is very different than all the rest of them.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that have to happen at the beginning of the transaction that we don't amend.
Yeah.
Like, it has to happen at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, there's non-allowables and stuff.
That's great points. And that reminds me of, I listen from time to time, not as much as I used to, but I used to listen to this podcast all the time. It's Mortgage Loan Officer Leadership. This guy out of Texas runs this podcast, and it's just great information for mortgage loan officers. And one of the tenets he speaks to in there is touch the lead, touch the partner. Touch the lead, touch the partner. And I teach my team that too. I think it's a great tenet.
Yeah.
If you have a conversation with a client who is referred to you by a real estate agent, a divorce attorney, a financial advisor, whoever that person, however they got to you, if you have a conversation with that client, then you should just let the person who made the introduction know, hey, I talked with Mr. Jones, and here's what the conversation was about. And I always take it a step further and say, hey, is it okay with you if I recap this conversation with Jonathan so he'll know kind of what we talked about?
Yeah. I don't need all the details. I just need to know what the outcome is.
But then they'll know that you're going to be on the same page. We're all going to be on the same page. We're all working together as a team.
Well, and as a good mortgage loan officer, and this is why I like you so much, keeps me informed and doesn't make me look stupid.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, let's just face it. There's a lot of ego in this industry.
Yeah.
And I don't like looking stupid.
Nobody
I don't like
wants
being
to. Whether there's
blindsided.
ego or not, you don't want to look stupid. You definitely don't want to get blindsided.
So I need to know certain things going into the transaction so that I can adjust the buyer's expectations accordingly.
Yeah.
Hey, we can only go up to $325,000, and it has to be FHA approvable. We're not looking in Rutherford County.
Yeah. Well, hey, guess what? If you go across the county line in the Cannon County, you're good. But if you go into Bedford County, because we're going THCA, the income limit's going to change. You're not going to be able to do it down there.
And maybe we need to go look at coffee, and we need to look at RD or something.
Yeah.
I mean, right? But If you tell me FHA 325 is the max, you're out of Rutherford.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. We talked about that last week, how many listings there were that were under 350. I think there were 3, and 2 of them were tear down buildings.
Which means they're not FHA available.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, they're probably not even conventional, really.
No.
Unless you get an appraisal waiver.
Well,
We
yeah,
know a
there's
little
that.
thing about that, don't we?
Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Well, my pro tip kind of actually dovetails very much with that, and that is ask a lot of questions. And man, I have interacted, and I have been this person as well, where you say something, and I kind of know what you mean. Like I kind of track, like maybe I've heard those words before, but I really, in order to actually understand, should ask for clarification. When you said, "What did you mean this?" Or is there something? Explain that to me one more time, right? Ask lots of questions. And if something just doesn't seem like it's right, ask the question. And if something seems like it's not complete information, ask the question, right? You're spending your money, you're spending your treasure, your time, you're doing all of that in order to have a place for your family. You need to ask a lot of questions.
And hey, guess what? That goes the other way too. If you're a real estate industry professional and you're watching this, ask a lot of questions of your clients so that you really understand their situation.
Because maybe you'll pull some information out that all of a sudden it changes the whole approach.
Conversation.
I've done that multiple times. Yeah. So ask lots of questions and don't tell as much as you ask.
Yeah.
That's a pro tip.
That's a pro tip.
Love it.
All right.
I think we did it, guys.
Yeah.
You fought through it.
Yeah.
Way to be great. All right. We'll see y'all next time.
See you soon.
Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your go-to resource for all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Be sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. We will see y'all on the next one.
Now for the nitty-gritty. Primis Mortgage Company is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC. Primis Mortgage NMLS number 1894879, BK number 1042893, ML number 1894879. As always, all loans are subject to credit approval and product guidelines. Equal housing lender.